Hello there, Internet. MegaMogwai here, and I got another Legends of Runeterra video for you guys today. Hope you had a good weekend, as we are going to showcase some Lissandra Frozen Thrall countdown. Finally, this is an archetype that I was super eager to build and play ever since we started seeing all these countdown cards introduced with the new part of the expansion. And I took a long time optimizing this deck. I didn't rush it. I didn't want to rush it. Like I knew it was going to be very hard to not only build but also like fully optimize, and there has to be like a lot of trial and error, right? So I took my time, pun intended, and I am really happy that I did. It's funny because now you may notice like one of the first things is that we have a Talia card back, and that's because I used to play Talia in this deck at the beginning, and I just kept the card back because I don't know, I like it, I guess, but it doesn't really make much sense. Regardless, this is a deck that we're only running Lissandra, as you guys can see, because one of the initial traps is playing the likes of Talia. Talia seems like she mixes really well in a deck like this because we can copy our Frozen Thralls and get, you know, them spawning at the same time. But the reality is, Promising Future is a much more efficient way of doing that. It costs 1 mana less, and we can use our spell mana to trigger this, so we can combine this with something like a Preservationist as well in the same turn, which is just something that we're not able to do with Talia, unfortunately. A lot of times, Talia plus Promising Future tends to be too much, you know, because we do have a limitation regarding space, so you have to prioritize this card, because this card just works so much better. Talia is definitely a little bit underpowered as a champion right now, even in landmark archetypes. I do like her in the Malphite deck that I showcased a couple of days back, but I do believe that she could use a bit of a buff, you know? Not like a complete redesign like some people are arguing for. I think, you know, if she gets a little bit buffed, she's actually going to be really good. So hopefully we see a Talia buff later down the line, as you know, she's a bit disappointing, especially when you consider a deck like this. But I don't even think that, even if you had like a really strong Talia here, I just don't see a world in which you play her over Promising Future. This is a very key card. At first, I was playing this as like a one-off, and then I was really liking this card. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to play this as a 2-of, and then I realized, man, this card is amazing. This card like really enables a lot of crazy shit in this deck. It's our main combo piece, so I just realized that you have to run this as a full set. That's one of the first things that I realized. There's also many other things that I realized over time. One of the first approaches that I took was incorporating a full set of Imagined Possibilities and the full set of Stone Weaving. The idea is, with Stone Weaving, if we combine this with something like a full set of Ancient Preparations, we can kind of guarantee in a way that we always find the Frozen Thrall, or we have a really good chance of finding a Frozen Thrall before turn 3. The problem with this is that you end up with too many 1-mana cards that are very low impact and terrible top decks later down the line. And it turns out you don't really need to play that many Frozen Thralls early on to truly go off. It's more about the combo with Promising Future. So Stone Weaving, while a pretty clever addition to this archetype, is actually a trap. And the same can be said about Imagined Possibilities. Unfortunately, Imagined Possibilities is really low impact. So I do like to run it as like a 4th time in a bottle in a way. Like, there's some key moments in which it's actually good. It's very good because it's very cheap to play, and it helps us, if we have multiple Frozen Thralls, it helps us accelerate in that sense. But most of the time, running a full set of this will lead you to very poor top decks in the late game, and will put you in precarious positions. Despite the fact that it is a flexible card that can create a random landmark with countdown, we're not really interested in any landmark with countdown that's not named Frozen Thrall, right? Like, that's basically our objective. I also played some hibernating rock bears at the beginning as well because of the synergy with our countdown mechanics. But again, they take up space, and we only really care about Frozen Thralls. Like, our entire strategy should revolve around that, because we're going to be using them to not only overwhelm the opponent with a lot of size early on, but also to level up Lissandra and potentially set up a late game Watcher, right? So that's this is the final version of the deck as of now, and I'm very, very proud of it. So let me talk about some of the cards that I decided to run. First of all, when it comes to the Frozen Thrall package, naturally we're going to be playing a full set of Frozen Thrall, and then we are going to be playing a full set of Lissandra, and obviously a full set of Draklorn Inquisitor. This is our ways of generating Frozen Thralls on the board, and it's more than enough. Because normally we just need a couple of Frozen Thralls max, and then we just give Promising Future to one of them, and we, you know, go crazy with the spawns, right? So in order for us to be able to pull this off, though, one of the biggest weaknesses a deck like this has is vulnerability to early aggression. So we have to patch that up with some solid AoE. Blighted Ravine is amazing because it can also synergize with some of our countdown cards, like for example Time in a Bottle, and we can trigger it you know, upon activation. It's also a really efficient way of playing this on our turn when it's not the opponent's attack token, if we're facing an aggressive deck, to make it so that they can develop more onto the board. And the health gain is really clutch. Speaking of health gain, on top of this AoE, I like a one-off of Avalanche as a bit of like a fourth Blighted Ravine in a way. You can even argue for a second copy of it. But I prefer running a couple of copies of Ice Shard and a full set of Kindly Tavern Keeper. This guy is super important. This guy gives us a solid blocker that can block into fearsome units and heals our Nexus by 3. And that is so important because that's basically how we lose the game. There's only one deck that I can think of, which is like the deck that I showcased yesterday, that out-muscles us, right? So everything else we overpower in the late game. So making it there is basically the biggest obstacle, right? And Kindly Tavern Keeper really does help in that regard. We also have a couple of copies of Three Sisters. I can even argue for 3, but I took one out recently for a copy of Soothsayer because Nox's decks right now are running Scorched Earth. So the ability to protect our Frozen Thralls and our Lissandra in that matchup from removal can be very relevant, which is why I like this as a one-off. But Three Sisters is an amazing card. Don't play this card. I wouldn't recommend playing the I don't know if I can find it. The 4-mana, I don't think I have the card actually. It's the 4-mana Frostbite. That there we go. The Succumb to the Cold. I'm actually gonna craft this so I don't have to search for it like that. But basically, Succumb to the Cold is a bit of a trap, I believe, because a lot of times when you're resorting to Frostbites, it's in the late game, so spawning a Frozen Thrall isn't really as relevant, and I really value the flexibility of Three Sisters, because yes, we can turn it into just a 4-mana Flash Freeze, but a lot of times you can resort to an Entomb, which can be really key in several matchups. Getting a unit out of the way, like a Leviathan, or a unit that is, for example, going to threaten a level up. Even in the Azir Irelia matchup, getting rid of Azir for a couple of turns as well can be super key. So the flexibility that Three Sisters provide really is something that I like. And obviously the Fury of the North as well, which can be used to either preserve a unit or push for lethal too. So I really value this card. It's very important to be able to disrupt what the opponent is doing, and I would still argue for 3 copies of it, but as of now, 2 seems to be enough, especially with the predict mechanics that we have at our disposal. And that's the deck list right there. We have some disruption. Also, big shoutouts to Preservationist. This card is really solid. It doesn't seem good at first because it's very expensive, but the 4/4 body allows us to fight against the opposing board, and the fact that we can advance an allied landmark 3 rounds goes a long way with cards like Promising Future, because we can focus purely on one Thrall instead of trying to advance all of them, right? And that's really key. Also, the Clock Hand as a one-off puts in the massive work and can potentially help us get the Watcher to 0 mana. And yeah, that is the deck list right there. Really fun to play. Put a lot of thought into it. I think this version is highly optimized, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it a lot. I think today's gameplay is pretty damn fire. And that's where I'm going to end it. Have a solid day. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for daily Legends of Runeterra content. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Alright. Let's bring the cold. That was the best thing I had. Okay, so right off the bat we have Lissandra. And we have Draklorn Inquisitor. I actually like this hand. I think this is a really solid card. Even though I don't have any early plays, the Blighted Ravine is going to be pretty relevant here. And Lissandra is actually really good in this matchup just because of the tough. The tough stat really does go a long way. This Imagined Possibilities can also be really strong with Draklorn Inquisitor as well. Oh, we got a Thrall here. Okay.
Showtime. That's my cue.
We get a Thrall there turn 2, which is really neat because we have the Imagined Possibilities here, and now
I will bury
the world in ice. We go Lissandra. I'm not gonna attack because Shapestone could be a thing.
Stand behind me. They won't hurt you.
If they hurt you, I'd never forgive myself.
Thinking here.
We cannot fight the code.
I'm gonna use Lissandra's toughness to break through. Pass.
Watch me now.
Shatter.
And now I'm gonna play the Blighted Redline, which will allow me to knock these two out.
Come, my warrior. Show me your worth.
I live and die for you alone,
my lady. We're back to 15. We have to clear his board, and we get the Inquisitor here with all these Thralls lining up.
Plans within plans.
You need not follow, but you
Will witness. Alright. We imagine our possibilities, and we trigger the Thrall. They're coming. They're coming! I like Soothsayer here as well, in case he has like a homecoming or something. But we'll see if we need it.
Steady your heart. Find.
I have risen and weakened.
Shurima. Alright.
The order is given.
Alright.
Foolish child.
Kill. Submit to the cold.
I want to play around Shapestone, killing my Inquisitor.
Waters, protect our prosperity.
As I play the Soothsayer, which gives me another blocker, and then I can develop the Tavern Keeper after I lose another unit. I still have access to the Entomb as well. Okay, he's going in. I could just Entomb this, honestly, because that means you can just attack with those, and that's a very easy block for me. Come at me.
Sway.
I get a flea block here, I get another block here,
You are not welcome.
and then block here. And now,
Embrace the cold.
we're going in.
Ages past, but
I am eternal. Getting that tough on the Nexus and showing him who's boss
You will do it.
as I command. Bum 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 ba-dum. That's 6, 4, 4. Wait, 12. That's exactly lethal unless he manages to do something. Yeah. Got him.
Their death serves greater purpose.
The deaths of greater purpose. Love it. Beautiful. Round 2. So this is a deck that has risen because of Azir Aurelia. And we'll see how we fare against it. I really like the idea of promising future with the Lissandra backup here. I'm going to drop the Ice Shard. I don't mind Ice, Time in a Bottle. Yeah. Like, turn 3 Frozen Thrall into, like, all this acceleration. Feels good enough. We don't have a turn 1 or turn 2 Frozen Thrall as of now, but that's okay. Like I said, promising future is one of the big power plays. And in this matchup, they can't really, ooh, especially with you, they can't really, like, counter it, right? I'm gonna play this.
We were red.
To honor the fallen.
To arms!
I don't need to play Lissandra per se. I can play her afterwards. Let me think here. No, I do like the idea.
A dark cloud looms on the horizon.
Worries fall from us like water.
This entomb is also nice. Now we have the promising future here. Next turn is going to be 5, so 3 plus 2. Or these two, and then focus on this, yeah. I'm gonna do this now. Just so I can predict here. I don't mind the red of negation. Now we're gonna go for an open attack in that sense, so we're gonna do this. Predict. It's actually not bad at all. No, but I'm gonna take the 3 sisters. I am eternal. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. We're coming! We still have the red navigation back up. And one hell of an attack here. I'm taking 3 sisters because freezes are amazing here. But also we have the flexibility of doing many different things.
Justice will be served.
Alright, that's fine.
You will do as I command.
That's a thick boy.
Stinging cold.
This makes it so that we can block into you.
Ready weapons.
You are not welcome.
I don't mind losing her. So I need space anyways. We got this to counter. I mean, we have so many counters for a judgment, for example. I think I'd like to. No, but he could have an answer for that. It's fine. We're close to being able to enable the Watcher here. Nice.
Hold back the darkness.
These freezes will be really, really relevant here. And like I said, he can't really afford to block the preservationist. Like, he has to block into these. I can entomb this. And that would set up lethal. That's fine. I can't play into a judgment, you know, completely wiping me out. Especially not when I have the Watcher looking at.
Thanks for the fallen.
And I'm gonna continue to apply these ice shards, even though they're damaging. Even though they're damaging my own board, they're putting him on the clock here. They're gonna make him nervous.
We were forged in Dragonfire.
Come, my warrior. Show me your worth.
I live and die for you, my lady.
We can heal up this this Thrall with our Tavern Keeper. Again, we have these frostbites.
Warm hearts and hot soup. To arms!
Stinging cold.
We do that because we were able to take down the Fangs next turn. Equinox. That's fine.
Embrace the cold. Feel the power of true ice.
This one's on the house.
The ice is melting. Come, my warrior. Show me your worth.
I live and die for you alone, my lady.
There's my boy. Good. Alright, we got the Watcher enabled.
Strike for justice!
Our arrangement is complete.
We're gonna deny that. Why is the screen shook? Got him, baby. Got him!
The Frost God rules.
The Frowlyard! Vi Draven. I think I've heard about this deck prior. I have to do a full mulligan here, though. I'm gonna keep the Kindly Tavern Keeper just because he can help me stay alive. Because I feel like this deck is gonna be pretty aggressive. We got turn 1 Frozen Thrall. All right.
Flesh was weak, but look at me now.
I'm gonna play Preservarium.
I am the future. Can you improve perfection?
We're gonna wait for him to play the Ignition. Or not.
Prime and ready. Join me if you want to live. This'll take it.
So take the chill off, and now we play the Tavern Keeper.
The party has arrived.
Definitely a hyper aggressive deck, which means this Blinded Ravine
System upgrade.
will put in the work.
Raven, I love you!
Me too, kiddo. Me too.
Evolve or die.
Let's talk about your dad. for the moneymakers.
Forgot about the fact that, you know, this thing gets the boost from the augment. He didn't need to buff that. Alright. So I would like to play you next turn. Especially because you're counting down to 4 anyways. So I gotta do this. Just to clear all these pesky attackers.
I follow the Fremio's true leader.
We're gonna play the Inquisitor here. He will allow us to trigger this frozen Thrall.
Got me good.
Unless he's playing, like, he seems to be hyper aggressive, so I don't think he's playing stuff like Thermogenic Beam to deal with this. That would be annoying, but it's not the end of the world because we do have predictions. But the in an ideal world, we're able to get both of these out pretty soon.
One girl wrecking crew.
Okay. Just gonna want to trade into my Inquisitor. I can play Tavern Keeper though. It does trade better into stuff. The problem is I'm gonna play you because he could have a Whirling Death.
Headed in.
Axes, come
Freeze.
I suspect a Whirling Death coming here.
die.
Yeah. So by killing my Inquisitor, I don't let this level up.
Time for the main event.
He plays 3 of these, okay. I need some of my flash freezes though here. This sure is too good, right?
Draven, I love you.
Me too, kiddo.
Me too.
Here's the fun part. Eat this.
Wish I had some freezes.
Coming to save the day. What a wreck it.
The freeze is important, but I want to continue with these Thralls. Especially because I can continue predicting anyways. And if he has like a give it all or something, because I don't know if this deck was give it all, but I can counter with the Ice Shard.
Warm hearts and hot soup.
All will fear and love our dark lady.
Fear. Love.
Can I have another one of these?
Fight. A carved meat bigger than you.
Submit to the cold.
Not that I need it.
I don't know why I didn't discard that.
What's my name?
Alright, we're going in. We're going in. This Three Sisters is exactly what I needed. I wanted it earlier, but I feel like I needed more Thralls. It sucks that we lost one of them, but we got a lot. You know, we got a strong play out of him. There we go. Woo! That was a tight one because we ran out of gas. But we got him. All right, so we're facing Zillion Swain. This archetype has evolved quite a bit. I'm gonna keep the ancient preparations. I'm gonna drop everything else, to be honest. There we go. Just because we don't expect like early aggression, we have to be worried. We have to be worried though, because Scorched Earth could be a thing. So it would be nice to find the. This is fantastic. It would be very nice to find the. I just realized I still have the Talia card back, even though I don't play Talia anymore. Well, we're packing in these Thralls. Like, this is a game where we just managed to find, like, the perfect Thrall curve, really. With ancient preparations as well. We're gonna try to hunt for, I forget her name. Like, the 2-drop that gives spell shield to our landmarks. I think it's something Weaver, I'm not sure. Well, they're really thinking. Oh, he's actually. I thought he was AFK. My God, dude, and he doesn't even attack. What are you doing?
A dark cloud looms on the horizon.
Was he like searching for my stream or something? I think he was searching like if I was streaming or something. Because now he's playing fast all of a sudden.
Gonna find a gift for an action, right, Arda? Wrap him up tight.
Secrets hidden by frost.
I'm gonna pass.
Always rely on you to keep us safe.
So you have Scorched Earth.
See what I've learned?
I want to have this Rite of Negation backup. Yeah.
Don't touch it.
Take it.
My work
Still a huge hit. Alright. I like this Three Sisters.
For conquest! For empire!
Ages pass, but I am eternal. I will bury the world in ice.
Positions!
Succumb. Stinging cold.
By my hand with noxious rites.
Okay, so if this goes down, I can entomb this, and then I can do that, enabling the Watcher. So I'm actually gonna let it happen. I'm gonna do this.
Freeze!
I'm in a promising future of this Thrall.
Such little lies.
Let's go predict.
Time is winding. Like a watch.
We play the Watcher. We go in. He doesn't trigger this, because I know how that works. As long as he doesn't have lethal at fast speed like Double Noxian Fervor, we knock him out! Die!
Return fire!
Oh yeah, we're gonna freeze you to death! The power!
Just a moment.
Well, he technically lives. Well, we have healing.
We're going under.
We have healing. Just in case a 2 mana 6 damage that I'm unaware of. Got him. Booyah. Oh, it lethal. Oh boy. This is a scary matchup indeed. We need speed. I'm gonna mulligan away everything just so that we can find Thralls. There we go. Not only do we need to find Thralls, like the cool thing is that besides single combat, there's no interaction in this deck. So we gotta try to do our very best to... Yeah, that's exactly what I want to see. Ravenous Butcher? Okay. No Butcher is really good news. It's a lot of damage, right? But it's fine. I gotta wait for their attack. Let's predict. They only have single combat as removal, which means that we can basically guarantee that this Dracula Inquisitor lives. They're mobilizing. I repeat, they are mobilizing. We can attack with this, because if we take damage from this, you can just single combat it away. These flash freezes can really come into play here. Did he find everything? Okay. Man, he could have found everything. Does he have double mobilize into? Man. All right. Yeah, this is pretty bad. This is pretty damn bad. we're dead. Man, they got a really strong curve. Yeah, this deck works really well against us because we're pretty slow. We're not able to apply pressure early on, and man, like we had a relatively strong start, but they Yu-Gi-Oh'd us. Well, GG. God damn it! Just like that, we're out. Irelia Misfortune. Blighted Ravine will definitely go a long way, so I am gonna keep it. As we find Ice Shard as well, really solid, and we get Lissandra. One of the key things to point out is that the Bilgewater version does not have access to Shape Stone, which is a really big deal for us because we can block with Lissandra much more freely. Like, Lissandra is kind of like a direct counter, so having her is really important. I like seeing that Tavern Keeper as well. Good stuff. We'll carry over the spell mana for the Ice Shard. We got the Clockwork Curator, but we're not going to play it naturally until we have that. But I really like the art of this card. It's really neat. I don't know. I have a thing for like jelly things. Don't. I mean, take that out of context if you will. Whatever. I like jelly. I like jelly dudes.
Secrets
I thrust.
The sea beasts are feral.
Alright, that's a little bit dangerous. Oh shit.
sisters.
That's a bit of a problem. Maybe I should have played this. Maybe I should have played around that, honestly. That caught me off guard, because I'm used to the Allegiance version.
And a 1, 2, 3.
You could have Homecoming, but I think in this version it's less likely. That's a really good draw there. Just gotta like not get completely wiped out this turn.
What shall we play for your dance?
Play us an anthem of Navori, or the verses you remember.
I can always preserve the Preservationist for later, so I'm gonna...
Battle stances!
I want to Blighted Ravine, like I'm really telegraphing it here, but that's the plan. I don't think he can kill me here. And by blocking like this, if he does have any sort of like crazy attack as well. Okay, well that's scary. Wasn't expecting that. There's a lot of cards that are surprising me here. Like, really? Flurry of Fists? Like, you can only use that on Aurelia. That's just weird, right? It doesn't get to return. Okay. And right now we're representing lethal with this Preservationist.
Spin it round, throw it down.
Fight.
You're all tied up.
Where they fall, freedom grows.
We can play Lissandra. As soon as he does something, we can play Lissandra. We're not giving him a chance, naturally.
I will remind the world.
World of true power. Come at me, bro!
Ages past.
I love Lissandra. I fucking love Lissandra. Like, I know, like, I really hated the Spectral Matron Watcher deck, like, just because of the playstyle. But this is just, like, she's my favorite Freljord champion. Like, by far. She has the sickest level up animation. And she's badass as fuck. I love her. Marry me! Marry me, please. Alright. Alright. Come on in! And that's why I play Tavern Keeper.
I dance not to forget.
So we can stay alive. We got this ice shard in the back as well. But we gotta, yeah. And then now that they're under Notify range, we don't care, man.
With me! Today is the day we reclaim our homeland!
Cool story, girl. That's 2 damage. That's nothing. Because I am tough. The power of ice. Again. Again. We don't have to do anything. We're not even gonna give it a chance. Succumb. Let's get it. Ha 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 ha! Woo!
Their death serves great.
The deaths are great, the papas.